Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. Welcome to the Commonwealth cabin. I wanted to start the video outside today, but too daggone windy out there, and I'm so excited about so much. I think there's quite a few things in this video that some folks out there need to hear, and I'm excited to talk about them, and some awesome sales as usual. Let's go take a look. As I pull this first item, let me give a little context to what I'm going to be saying here today. You know, first of all, a big giant thank you to so many folks out there. It is crazy. I'm just some guy, you know, former teacher in a shed in rural Virginia that never had much money. And you guys have quite literally changed my life. And I'm able to speak to people that it blows my mind every day that some guy in a shed in his backyard. And I just want to say thank you to all of you out there who have made this happen for some crazy, crazy reason. Here's the first sale. Hero Quest pack, Witch Lord. I had got a lot of these. This was from a separate purchase. And this is the last Hero Quest full boxed item that I have. This is a vintage one. I still have a few like game pieces back there, but this one right here, so it took a while, $47.45 plus shipping. You know, I get phone calls from folks sometimes and I'm thinking, crazy, why do they want to talk to me? And it always just reminds me of what I just said. I'm internally grateful. It's little things sometimes. It's like, what they want me to do a sponsorship, they want me to do this, they want me to communicate this, and it's like I don't even know how to describe it, but I just wanted to say thank you. It blows my mind, but there's a much bigger message today that I want to convey to some folks out there. Some of you realize this already, I think you do anyways, but there are some folks I don't think who get this, and I hear so much of negativity towards reselling at this point, and things aren't great. I think I used to tell my ball players all the time, you know, sometimes it's difficult to see the forest, you know, for the trees. And of course, a lot of them are like, what the heck are you talking about? We focus so much on the minutia that we don't see the bigger picture. And if you can see the bigger picture, sometimes it's much easier to navigate your way through the forest and through the bumps and the dips and the rivers and the whatever. And I think that might be a little bit of where we're at for some folks right now. But I just am here to tell you there are amazing things happening in reselling as a whole. And I'm not just talking about this sector over here is growing and this is doing this and this is doing this. I'm talking about for all of it. I'm so bullish. I don't think I've been as bullish about reselling ever since I picked up this camera and started doing these videos as I am right now. I really, really think that that's where we're at. Now, I think that there are some definite hurdles. But man, if you look, I was looking at some data and talking to some people, and it's like this thing continues to grow. We don't often see it because it's growing as a whole as opposed to growing maybe on the marketplace that you sell on. But I am bullish about eBay, just eBay itself. I am bullish about many, many other things as well, and everything as a whole I'm bullish on. There may be some ups and downs, but I think things are getting amazing. Even for the folks that think, you know, maybe it's a political thing for you. Well, this guy was in office and everything was terrible, and this guy's going to be there and now everything's going to be terrible, or this is going to be great, or this is going to be whatever. I just walk yourself out of that situation for a second, if that's you. And if you ever get a chance to really dig into these things and to look at what we do as a whole, there are so many signs that are pointing to reselling getting better and better, and much more opportunity out there for the right folks who can seize the opportunity. And I know a lot of you out there think, well, I'm just small potatoes and whatever, and that's fine. Listen, y'all, this is my business. I'm small potatoes, for goodness sake. And I like to be small potatoes. But even I'm thinking about certain things, there are so many opportunities out there. This might be it right there. That as much as I love social media, I even have thought about cutting back a little bit on that because I'm missing opportunities. Today, for instance, I could be doing something that could net me quite a bit of money reselling, and I chose not to. And it's because multiple reasons. I'm gonna mess this up if I keep yapping. Hold on. How cool are these right here? Little salt and pepper shakers. They're like, I don't even know how to describe them. Stone or almost Bakelite or glass. It's such a weird little composite thing there. But those are awesome, MCM, and I had to pick them up, and we had to list them, and we sold them, and they sold for, I have no idea, I can't find it, $25 for those, plus shipping. If you've been watching this show for a while, you know I really enjoy the life that I've carved out for myself. It's like I've created a little reseller Disneyland, and part of me just doesn't want it to stop, right? I love social media, I love reselling, I love everything almost about what I do. There's a few things I don't like, but pretty much everything I just thoroughly enjoy, and I'm so incredibly blessed to have this life. But I get calls and different stuff, and I'm like, man, I could be doing that. I could make like $2,000 on that in like 10 hours or whatever. It's like, I'm like, but then I got to do this show, and then I got to be away from my kids and whatever. So I have thought seriously lately about slowing down a little bit of the social media in order to be able to take a little bit more time to, look at these opportunities and seize them too. I don't know. I probably won't. I like talking to y'all too much, but there just is so many people. There are so many people out there that are just like, I'm struggling to do this and struggling to do that. And I just want to tell you to stick it out, to start changing your methods just a little bit. Keep pushing forward, because I really do see folks that work hard, that know what they're doing, being able to prosper in this. Really, I don't want to blow this out of proportion. I'm not like every reseller in a shed is going to be a millionaire next year. I just see things trending in the right direction for people who have already been in the game, who know what they're doing, have all their ducks in a row. I think it's going to get better, not worse. I'll give you a little anecdotal stuff here. Maybe we'll talk about some numbers or some things that I'm really seeing, but let me give you the anecdotal stuff. That's more me anyways. Dry fire pants. These I picked up at a sale. Some of you remember this one from the Commonwealth Picker channel. And we waited forever. Most of that stuff sold pretty quick. We still have a mask and a few others. This sale was insanely cheap. And it really got me looking at this kind of stuff, because we sold some clothing pieces for a lot. This, believe it or not, y'all, this thing sold for over 100 bucks. It sold for, I don't know. Man, I gotta write this stuff down better. $119.95 for those pair of pants, plus shipping. As many of you know, I have made a decision this year that I was going to not shut this store down. I'm gonna, man, that wind is blowing out there. I was gonna not shut my store down. Try not to shut it down basically at all. There might be times where I had to. If I go somewhere with my family, then that would necessitate that Jess be here to ship eBay orders. And if I go somewhere by myself, of course my wife is here to do that. So, and normally I don't do that to her. She's agreed to that, and as a backup, if Jess could come over and ship or something like that. So I've agreed. I've planned on doing this for a while, and now this year I've done it. I haven't shut the store down yet, and I've made 2 trips. Actually, I've made 4 trips, but 2 of them I wouldn't have had to shut the store down anyways. And I've kept the store open. I did very little listing on this last sourcing trip. Like maybe, I don't know, average of 1 a day. And my wife didn't do much back here either. She had other responsibilities with me gone. And I'm like, this is going to be bad. And I come back and my sales are terrific with no new listings. I'm like, wow, man, that was a lot better than I thought. I was just happy to keep the store open and get some more sales than I typically would if I shut it down. And I'm like, this is going well. And older stuff is selling on top of it, like this and that right there. All 3 of these were older items. And then I start looking into things, and I start getting phone calls from folks. I'm like, you know what? I'm happy to be in the reselling business. And there might be some tough times here and there, but this is not a dying industry. This is a flourishing industry that I think people need to tap into that mindset and to motivate them to go forward. Y'all, when the cat's away, the mice will play. I come back and there's stuff in different places than when I left. But I'm eternally grateful to my family, to Jess, and to other folks for helping us do what we do. I gotta remember, I think I'm looking for a Zippo here. Here's a Zippo. You know, you gotta pick up Zippos if they're the right price, but sometimes you find some really cool ones. And I saw this one and I'm like, that does not look like a Zippo. It's just a little, is that a Royal Flush hand, I think? Without the king. At any rate, it's a Zippo and it had that on it. And I looked up that comp and I'm like, that's not bad. For $1, I'll pick it up for sure. $22 for this one and 95 cents plus shipping. And of course, you know, I don't get into the numbers and the details all the time. And I love anecdotal stuff. And I love seeing an eclectic mix of sales. It's like the health of the whole market. I love seeing necessities being sold, desires, wants, and stuff that people don't need at all whatsoever, all being sold. Here's a little bud frog. We've sold these before. If you remember, I said I sourced these over on shopcommons.net. And I got a good price on them, where I knew, because it was multi-quantity, that I could sell these off over time. And I also saw listings out there that weren't very good, to be honest with you. And I was like, you know what, I can make a better listing than that in multiple ways and get these sold a little quicker. $14.20 for the bud frog, plus shipping. This kind of continues the eclectic mix I've been talking about here. Oh, making a bunch of noise. Where is, what am I looking for? Oh, it's a cold, okay, here it is, right here. This guy right here sold, and it's just a candle holder of some sort. I think it's, I don't remember what's on the title since I'm out here, but it's sold for $17.05 plus shipping. I used to encourage my students in my class to look at their own motivations for why they want to do good in a class. And if there's external motivations because your parents are going to kill you, or because you want to get a scholarship or whatever, those are all fine. But the real motivation for learning should be the fact that you realize that knowledge is power. And I've gained so much knowledge in what I've done lately. Thanks a lot, in due part, to you guys for educating me for the last 5 years. And hopefully I've done that a little bit for you, that I now kind of see there's so much more opportunity than even I ever thought. I'm not just talking about reselling in general, I'm talking about sourcing in specific right here, that there is just so much more out there that people can tap into as resources for the reselling. This is Up. If you remember the Up, the peacock, I love that. And that was a great movie. I loved it. Kind of make you a little teary-eyed. $24.95 plus shipping. I don't know, y'all. You just kind of caught me on a good day in many, 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 many ways. And I'm excited about the future. And, you know, there was no returns today. There's none of those bad things that we have to deal with. And I'm just so excited. I'm looking at these sales, and I was expecting to come back to nothing. And I'm like, old stuff is selling. This is awesome. And it's decent money. And then I get a great phone call. I was talking to somebody where, you know, do you realize the investments that are going into marketplaces right now to different new initiatives, new ideas, and nobody's giving up. They're pushing forward. There's so much new competition that's going to make things better and give more opportunities to resellers. It's like, I don't think you realize. And I'm like, maybe I don't realize. And it just got me super excited about it. They were sharing data with me and some other things. And I'm like, wow. So the wizards of smart out there are betting on the future of reselling, and that's always good news. Now, a lot of you from a previous video last week were so upset because you thought I was not going to let the dogs come on the videos because people complain about it. I couldn't keep these dogs off the video if I tried. You'd hear them out there scratching and whining the whole time. I know. I'm looking for a book, y'all, but I don't see it. Where's my manuals? It's because it was in the books that were inside. This little shop manual didn't go for a whole ton, $11.16. I think this was 30% off on this one. I don't buy too many of these anymore, but at the right price for $1 or so, I'll wait for the sale. $11.16 plus shipping. So without going into great detail, because obviously I'm excited about stuff, but I don't really want to get into the details of all of it. I'll just say that there seems to be a convergence. Part of the reason I don't is because some of it's political, and it always ticks off people. But I don't think this would, if I went into the details. A lot of it's what I've talked about before. To me, there's big threats to reselling in the regulation side of reselling and the litigation part of reselling. And those walls seem to be coming down domestically, while they're being put up in some places even more internationally, and that may be changing as well. And then there's some other things that are probably not great, that I don't advocate for, that will also benefit people who are doing reselling right, even though I don't like them. We've talked about those things before. So in other words, there's going to be hurdles for people who haven't been doing it right and haven't been in the game already. And there's so many benefits on the selling side that I think that you're going to see is, I think you'll see a decrease in the amount of people who are reselling, or at least in the way we do, combined with a growth in the sales for resellers, which means that the same people who have been doing it, if they have their ducks in a row, if they do their taxes right, if they're, you know, taking all their deductions, if they're doing all those things, my reseller Genie, shout out code Commonwealth, those people are going to flourish in this atmosphere. And I think a lot of the new folks that come in are going to find those hurdles pretty tough to jump over. Don't get me wrong, I don't advocate for gatekeeping, for excessive hurdles, for any of those things. Don't advocate for it at all. Matter of fact, I hope they're all torn down. We should all have a fair shake and a fair shot. I think this is the item. I bought an entire box. This was a total gamble on my part because I normally don't buy this kind of stuff. This is Littlest Pet Shop. A lady at a sale had just a giant box full of this type of stuff. That's where I got that Polly Pocket lock that sold last time. And there's a few things in there I've heard other people say do well, you know. But I'm like, I just don't know, and I sure don't want to figure it all out. But it was so cheap, I had to buy it, and we've made plenty of different lots from it that have made really good money. That's the way to do these little toys, I think, is to lot them up. And this lot right here, so for $75.95 plus shipping. Kind of crazy, to be honest. These are the people who are sourcing over on Dibdit and Shop Commons. They look at this stuff and they know it. That's what I mean by knowledge is power. And they're like, oh, there's so much money in it. Where I'd look at that thing and I'd be like, I don't want to mess with it, but daggone, that's a nice sale. Oh, you two are something else. You wanted to go out a minute ago, and then I picked up a bag, and they're like, nope, we're staying. Still some leftovers of that giant Carhartt lot. Even the kind of plain Jane stuff has gone well for us. This one sold as a size small, y'all. Sold for $14.20 plus shipping. So I guess this is a message to the folks out there who, you know, maybe your life moves you in a different direction, and it's maybe it is time for you to hang it up as a reseller or whatever. And I'm not telling folks that, look, that happens. There'll be a point where I stop doing that. But if it's something you love and you're just kind of struggling at it right now, I would really encourage you to stay in the game. Even if it's a lesser part of the game and you're maybe more focused on what you're doing, or, you know, reducing the kind of amount you're selling or something, stay in the game, refine your processes, if you will. And I think you're going to possibly see that excitement come back that you used to see. Maybe not overwhelmingly, but as the years go by, I really am bullish about this stuff. Maybe I'm crazy. Y'all tell me down below if you think I'm nuts and I shouldn't be bullish about reselling. I should be looking for another job or something. Tell me in the comments. Some more old sales. This is a great one to get going. It did sell on 30% off. But normally, you know, you see something like that, if you're a golf person, you realize, oh man, that's worth some good money. This one had issues. I've been way better at trying to buy things without issues. And this one certainly had some. And I don't like to clean, but you can't clean some of these issues. I don't know if you can see it. So, see all this? You know, lots of stuff needs replaced and everything else. And I was, you know, it was so dirt cheap. It's like, okay, I'll do it. And then you regret it, right? But this one sold in that condition for $66.47 plus shipping. And more things I bought last spring as spring approaches selling, and this is one of those. I paid up a little for this one, knowing that even if I had to sell it on clearance at some point, it would be worth the sale. And this is a little Invicta, I don't know what that says on there. Invicta watch. Can't even get it open. I'm gonna do this here. I think I can get it with one hand. And that thing sold for, see, it had a $199 price tag on it. It sold for $55.97 plus shipping. Sold a football jersey. What is it here? Let's see. LeVar Arrington, of course. And it is a Giants jersey. $41.91 for that one plus shipping. There is really quite a bit more I want to say. I'm not going to say I'm afraid to say it, but you know, I'm so appreciative of everybody who watches. I don't really want to go down political, religious things. It just gets into a quagmire, to be honest with you. But I will say this, just generically. In time periods of great change, just historically, speaking as, you know, somebody used to look at this stuff in history, you know, we don't often go through time periods of great change. And I'm not just talking about specifically right now in the position where we're in, where there seems to be, you know, some pretty big changes happening. But really, if you look at the history of mankind, really since I'm going to say the late 1970s, you have seen an acceleration of change. And in the world we're living in right now, that's only just going faster and faster and faster. And that's almost every facet of life. Technology, economics, politics, all of it. There's serious change going on, which normally scares me, to be perfectly honest with you. But I also know that in time periods of great change, there is good opportunity out there. And I think that this space that we live in as resellers, there's quite a bit of opportunity in the world we're living in right now. And I'm just excited about it. I hope some of you are too. I'm not saying, you know, like I said earlier, that, you know, people who know, you know, 1980s toys are all going to all of a sudden be the world's new billionaires. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just excited that I feel like, even despite all of the things that may be negative in reselling, that I'm going to be able to do this in some way, shape, or form until I want to be done with it. And I haven't really felt like that for sure for a while, but I do right now. I don't remember buying this item, which means it might be part of the Death Pile Picker buyout that I had, because I don't remember buying this. And this is not an a little iPod. I think this is a Kobe, I'm pretty sure. Video player model, $18.99 plus shipping. A lot of times I do not pick up the Vera Bradley wallets, but for $1, when it has that on it, I'll pick them up because they're a quick sale. Even retail, that's only $12, and it sold for $10 plus shipping. You might remember this from the Dollar House down there in Florida, where all the clothes were $1, and we picked out quite a few things, including some Jetson shorts that were selling for crazy money. Look at that, I just saw that issue on there. I hope I have that listed. My phone is ringing as well. At any rate, Jody bought this, and I gotta read this. This one sold for $18.95 plus shipping. And I have to apologize, Jody, because there are 3 Jodys in this audience. One of them is Toy Addict on Instagram, and I don't know if this is you or not, and I apologize. I know you've bought so much from us before. You've done so much for us before as well. And I always want to thank people that have helped us out. And I'm going to thank you, even if it's not the same Jody. I should probably look at the names and everything and get it figured out. I think this was Minnesota. But thank you to Jody. Hello, Kevin. Couldn't pass this cool design. I appreciate your eye for vintage pieces that you find. So I appreciate that very much, and we appreciate you. And we sold a little Bible. I popped it out earlier so I would make sure I knew where it was. This is not an amazing one. That sounds kind of weird to say about a Bible. Not an amazing Bible. Meaning it doesn't have anything amazing. Bells and whistles, red letter, giant print, whatever. And this one still sold, though, for $13.30 plus shipping. I probably wouldn't have picked it up unless it was free or $1. I am motoring through now. You have to forgive me. We still have a bunch. Hey, what's up, buddy? My grilled cheese is ready, and Turner's got to go to practice, so I'm trying to get through. Looks like I'm not going to make it. I'll have to come back and do the rest in a little bit. But this one, 767 WCW Nitro Skull Cap. I got to go. I'll be back in that quick. All right, it is dark. I'm back from practice, and my wife left. Look at her. She came in here and shipped all that stuff. Couldn't get it all done, I'm sure. And left the heater on for me, and then went to pick up Reagan. So I'm sure they'll be back, you know. Having kids, you gotta get out there and move them around, you know. Little planter, a Minnie Mouse planter. I've had this a long time, probably a year and a half. And it finally sold 30% off, $27.26 plus shipping. All right, y'all, we got a couple of dogs, and we got Reagan, and we got a sale, and I have not checked CommonwealthPicker.com since I've been home. I don't know if you have or not, but we're going to do the one that sold out of Dibdid.com today, and who got it?
Rocky Mountain Resellers got a We Get Things Moving sticker.
Thank you to, I think it says Virginia is her name, so thank you to Virginia. We appreciate that very much.
Bye, and don't forget to get your stickers at CommonwealthPicker.com.
All right, Turner thinks he's in here to say some Commonwealth comedy, but man, you look so old, Turner. Look, you got jeans on
I didn't
and
have
all
any
that
other
stuff. Come on over here. Larry from Huntington Beach. It says Garden Grove on the thing. That's where, well, it's near where I grew up, buddy. Orange County stuff going on, where Grammy and Grandpa grew up. Look what they sent you. Look at that. Angels playing cards. A couple of Angels baseball. One with an old school logo right there. What does this say? That's a major, that's a World Series ball, Turner. 1987 World Series baseball. Peter Uberoff. That is an incredibly nice gift.
Thank you.
Larry, thank you so much. A Major League, well, this is a replica. It's got the Angels logo on it. Look at that. You have just made this boy's day. What is that, a little towel? Man. No note. We can't even read a note and tell him thank you. Look, that's an American League Baseball right there. Bud C League Baseball. You can know the eras by who the commissioner is, or the president. That is really nice. Will you tell Larry thank you?
Thank you, Larry.
And Larry, I thank you too. The generosity of you folks is just unbelievable. So thank you very much.
That is awesome.
Next one's kind of crazy. We had tons of these, very, very similar. And they had some fading issues on them. So we sold them all off on Dibdit Threads. And some of y'all over there, if you bought those, got a good deal. This one, they hadn't sold for us, but this one sold. And you can see right here, and some of them had different kinds of fading, and some of it looked like it was designed fading, like this. But see, I look at that, and I'm like, nope, that's not designed fading, but people like them like that. I just like, well, whatever. So I left one listed over here on eBay and sold the rest off on Threads. Size small, easy rider. Sold for 35 bucks, y'all, just a few pennies under that. So whoever bought them over there, I hope you have success selling them as well. You got them super cheap from us. Sold another item on 30% off. Sold a lot on 30% off, and I know that might seem crazy to some of y'all, but that just means it's been in the store a long time. And we buy good enough that we're still making money on those right there. I gotta find this one. This one may be a little tough. They're deployment coins. It's been a long time since I pulled one out of here, if y'all have been watching this channel. That's not one. I might have to turn the camera off and find this one, to be honest with you. We'll see what we can find. Maybe up here. Nope, I'm gonna turn it off. All right, it was actually looking me right in the face. I already opened that drawer. You probably saw it, and I didn't. In Pete's drawer, right there. And this one is 2-piece. I think this one had broken, right? It had an issue with that. See that coming out, which is why it took forever. We sold all those other deployment coins, $9. 7 cents for that one. And then a Camaro keychain. These are selling for $10.46. We are down to 13 of these left, y'all. That just blows my mind. If you've been around the channel a long time, you knew we had just hundreds of these. So I love selling those. So I just want to reiterate something for the folks who have been watching this channel so long. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the goodwill that comes our way. It is amazing, and I don't know all of you, but I just want to thank all of you, or most of you anyway. Some of you hate me and you still watch, but that's okay. Look, everybody's not for everybody, and I've known that for a long time. So we do appreciate all of you. I've somehow, because of you guys, been somebody that other people want to talk to, and this sounds terrible, and use to communicate to a lot of normal resellers out there. Not the folks that are selling millions of dollars a year, just the folks in their basements and their garages and their sheds and their guest bedrooms and even in their bathrooms, for goodness sake. Is there anybody willing to admit they resell out of an extra bathroom? Sometimes I get people send me pictures of their eBay space, and a couple of them have been in the bathroom. So anyway, thank y'all. I hope you guys have the same optimistic outlook. I don't think there's any damage. I don't like to be Pollyanna-ish, but I just feel it for the first time, really since COVID, that there's great opportunity, and I pass up on a ton of opportunity. And part of why I do is because I just love the psychology for my own psyche to get out there and meet people and to go to garage sales. And if I sourced some of the opportunities I had, I wouldn't have time to do that, nor would I need the inventory. So call me crazy if you want, but thank you for everything you guys do for us, and we appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you next time.